Good morning, everyone. My name is Ace. We like doing art. We like playing games here. Today, we're going to be doing more art. I'm doing 3D models of characters that I've created for a story that I've made. It's a webcomic. It will be, it's one volume. It's already written, and I'm going to be using these characters as a reference for that comic. Okay. This is what we got so far. This is the third model that I've created on stream since I've started streaming, and we are going to try to get to six sometime in the near future. Okay. It's a story about two college students who find a secret government project and try to use it to save their terminally ill friend. And the first scene begins in Vietnam or Cambodia, 1972. It's actually not Vietnam, but it's set during the Vietnam War. The beginning anyway, and we move on from that. It's not really about the Vietnam War. That's just a setting. This guy right here, he's wearing a U.S. Army uniform from that era, and we're going to continue it. Okay, we have the LBE here. It's shaped a little better than it was yesterday. All right, and we're going to continue making it. We're going to put some details on it, and then we can move on to retopology. I tried to get this done yesterday, but um, getting to this point was enough. It was enough. So, what is this? Okay, we're on the wrong window here. No problem. We'll just move it back. I'm gonna do a little bit of tweaks here before we continue on proper here. I see some clipping that I missed yesterday, and we're going to try to fix whatever tweaks that we can see going forward. All right, so I need to be in scope mode for that. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to grab, oh, we're already on the move tool. So I'm going ahead and put this up some, just a little bit so we're not deforming it. It's still a little rugged around the edges. I think I should probably try to remesh it some more. Maybe I can smooth it out. Let's see here. Let me grab the smooth brush. Here's the smooth brush right here. And I'm going to put the strength all the way down. We don't want to warp what we've done here. So we're going to try to smooth this a little bit. Like so. All right. I hope you're having a great morning. We are on the hump day once again. Going pretty well. It got a little cool where I'm at. The weather kind of went back down to the 30s here where we are, but it's okay. I don't really mind the weather too much as long as it's not a hurricane or anything. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty okay about the weather. I don't mind rain. Well, we'll be all right. I keep my AC in the window year round, and it's drilled in. The little there's like the little accordion wall that you have to spread out. So you cover the spaces between the AC. I take some plastic and I just cover the whole window and seal it so that way no extra air gets in. And I can keep the heat in still. That's how I do it. It looks a little weird. You may have seen that behind me. It's actually in this window right here. That's slightly off camera, but I took the plastic off because it got really nice. I was like, okay, it looks like it's gonna warm up, and then it went cold again. So I'm like, okay, no, whatever. I have heat. I have an electric blanket, so it doesn't really matter. But that's just to keep the heat in, so that way, my bill is not super high. But like I said, it's no longer a problem. It's never been a problem really. So I'm gonna straighten these straps out a little bit. And so far we got a pretty decent form for this equipment here. This is as far as I'm gonna go. I know I showed the reference yesterday. You know, you got some grenades here. Maybe we could find a grenade online and just stick them right there or whatever. You know, it doesn't really matter. This is just for a drawing reference. So we're gonna have to get like the little buckles and seams and straps and folds. And this here, I'm not sure how I'm gonna do this, but we can figure it out because that's really, we might have to make them a little bit bigger than they would be in real life, just to, you know, just to get the shape there. I don't think it, you know, we really don't have to go into that much detail for my comic, but we are trying to increase our skill in this medium, and clothes are something that I am not proficient in. Okay. Um, so we're trying to increase our skill in making clothing for our characters. I put all my skill points in anatomy and, you know, the human form. And while that might need some refinement, which is fine, you know, we can improve upon that over time. My clothing is not where my people are, so we're going to try to do each sculpt better than the last. Okay, so that's what we're doing. But it's really hard to get really small details sometimes, so I think we can just probably just make it bigger. I think the belt is actually kind of skinny. Maybe we can kind of widen it a little bit. Let's okay, we already have the grab tool. So I'm going to increase the grab tool, and we're going to kind of just pull this up some so that way we can get a thicker belt going here. Can't really see it from the side in my reference because I'm lacking canteens. I think that's another thing we can just grab off the internet if we really need to. I think I'm just gonna have them look like this in the comic and with a weapon. That's it. They don't really need. It doesn't really need to be that much into detail. Now, if I was making like a game or something, then we would have them have everything. You know, just because this would be the finished product. This is not the finished product. This is just a reference for the finished product, which will be my own drawings, you know, on the page. We're not doing the comic in 3D, but the references will be in 3D. I can do I can, you know, I can draw without references. It's just, this is just for consistency and for speed and accuracy. I noticed that when I draw without a reference, I naturally try, of course, like we do on purpose here, try to do the pictures better than the last. So there's a bit of inconsistency there, and that's probably a skill issue. You know, I mean, I've been drawing all my life, but it doesn't. I don't practice it. Not like this. Okay, this medium I've practiced a lot. This is probably the most practice I've ever done. Normally, I would just, when I wanted to draw something, I just draw it, and it turns out pretty well for the most part. But there are sometimes when I look at my perspective drawings, um, there's just a little bit of inconsistencies. I don't do that often, and I tried over the years since doing digital art to refine that, and for the most part I did, but it really helps to have reference for that type of stuff, and especially for this web comic, which I want the art to be, you know, it has as much effort put into it as the story that I've written. I'm the amateur writer, I guess. I'm very amateur, you know, and I call myself an amateur artist too. You know, I'm not a professional by any means. I didn't study it. This is all self-taught stuff. But we're going to try to do the best that we can. We're going to try to make it look professional. That's my goal. I can show you an example of some of my art. Actually, I already did that yesterday. Another time, perhaps. We're going to keep going here. I'm going to try to get this done here because it was my hope to get to the retopology today. But once I did this, I was like, okay, I need to take a break from this, so I did it. These are a little small. These pouches carry ammo, and they should be a little bit larger, but I think I'm just gonna leave it like this. To be honest, I'm not gonna worry about it. Like I said, we don't need 100% accuracy in anything. I have enough skill to be able to just make, like, if I wanted to draw this and make corrections on the page, I can do that easily. So, I did a test drawing in the summer. I used a reference for the jacket. It was a, the girl character that I made with the cat eyes. That is another character of mine. I know, you know what I noticed? There's a lot of characters that are like that, and then, you got your horns and, you got your weird eyes or whatever, I didn't think that characters like that were so widespread, but you know what? I'm not going to change a thing. I see characters like that everywhere now. So it's like, oh, okay. My characters, I think, are far enough away from the norm to where I don't really need to worry about changing anything because it looks like someone else's work. I'm pretty confident in my ability to create stuff, create original stuff, original enough anyway. And I'm not looking to rip anybody off here, but yes, that character I made, I used some clothing references, but that was pretty much without a reference. Like the character itself, I haven't actually drawn that character in many, many years. I actually have a couple of pictures of that character from way back in the day, and in my high school days. But obviously, there were some changes. They didn't have the weird eyes, and back then, I did not know how to draw specific ethnicities that well. So the character is Asian, of course. I realized that I had didn't really have any like specifically Asian characters in my stories. So I was like, yeah, okay. I made an Asian character, and I looked, and I was like, well, okay, kind of looks like Michael Keaton. I didn't know how to draw them, so it's like, yeah, back in the day. So I kind of like put them on the shelf a bit. But now those characters are in this story. So I kind of made that character kind of like I don't know, the linchpin to my entire universe because of the actions that they've done in the story. And we're going to try to, actually show this story to people, and maybe you'll be entertained by it. I'll put it up somewhere on a website, tell people to go read it, tell me what they think. Why are things unplugging? I don't know. Anyway, this is where we're at. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I've been doing this for a long, long time, drawing and making comics. I would just fold pieces of paper together and just draw whatever. Back then it was, X-Men, Spider-Man. I don't think I've ever drawn a Batman comic. It's like, fan fiction. I did that when I was in elementary, and then eventually, I would say about around 1996 was when I started branching off from that. There was a small phase with recolors, and then just calling that my character. You see a lot of that on DeviantArt. I did that too, but I was a kid, and then slowly started making my own universe from those recolors, and this is pretty much the same universe. We're going to try to make that story into something that people can enjoy because through the years there have been a lot of things that I've brainstormed, like, oh yeah, okay, so this arc has this happening, and I just never really did anything with it. I just brainstormed it for years, and then every now and then I would draw things from it, and some of the things are in this folder. But as the years went by, we like dark and edgy stuff, and I was like, yeah, you know what, that's kind of cool. Let me put that in my comic. It was like, okay, well, I look at it now, and I'm like, well, we should probably adjust some things. Some things just don't need to happen. So, and it's nothing crazy, it's just not really the wavelength that we're on anymore. We're an adult now. We're going to try to make a pretty good story from what we have here. So I want to flatten these pouches some more. These pouches are really hard. They're like really hard. I don't know what to call it, but they stay in this box form, so you can put magazines in them. And uh, they don't have these dips, right? So I want to kind of just, well, I guess I can pull that out. I'm looking for a way to flatten it. I was gonna flatten it, but it's already flat, I guess. Maybe we can just pull out the box a little bit. See what we got going here. Okay, and we're gonna do that now. Just making some small tweaks here before we move forward with the details. How about we pull this down? Okay, and then we're gonna take a look here. We're gonna see what we can see. I want to pull it out and pull out the front here and then flatten it just a little bit. I want to see if that works. Plateau worked pretty well. So let me try to plateau it. Because I think plateau is how I made the box in the first place. It actually kind of works better than flatten for certain things. So I'm going to try to do that. Okay, this right here, I'm not really sure why that's like that. So I probably just missed it yesterday. I spent some time trying to box this out. I inflated it until it was like a pouch, like a real pouch, and then shaped it into a box. It doesn't have to be a perfect box, but because like I said, this isn't the finished product. But I'm going to need the general shape there, so we can see the sides. That way they're affected when, if I have a light source here and it's affected, I have the accurate light source to go off of. So we're gonna try to flesh out that that shape a little bit. You know what? Maybe we can reinforce the edges. Draw sharp. Yeah. Maybe we can reinforce the edges and see if we can get something going here. I think I need to hold control down for this one, so I'm gonna go around here and try to crease that edge some, like so. Let's try that. Wait, where's my strength at? Okay. I guess that's enough strength. You know what? I was in the mood to play some retro games yesterday, but I didn't. I didn't. I hopped on Minecraft like a few, like an hour, I guess. I didn't really feel like playing it, but um, I'm still sorting my stuff in my base. My basement is at a level where I can start moving stuff in, but it's not completely done yet. And then once that's done, I think what I'm going to do, because I think I have the entire first level of my starter base completed. Those of you who watch me play Minecraft, I'm just giving you an update. We'll probably get to that this weekend at some point. But yeah, we're going to try to work on the outside of the first floor for a little bit, just until and then start organizing things, and then back to adventuring. We got to keep getting the power. We got to keep acquiring the power. But I want my next adventure to be into the Nether. That's what I'm trying to plan for. But I need to sort my stuff out, get some armor, things like that. Anyway, back to the art. I'm still just tweaking some stuff. Yeah, look forward to that. Yeah, there was this game on Nintendo that I used to play with my dad a long time ago, probably back when it came out. It's called Solar Jetman, and that was my Zelda. Okay, it's a space or exploration game. You go and you go get salvage basically, and you bring it back. You're looking for pieces of a special a legendary ship, a warp ship. It's called the Golden Warp Ship. Okay, and you have to go to 12 planets and get these pieces and bring them and assemble them, and then fight aliens with them. But yeah, it's got exploration. It's got its own gravity engine built in, and this is like 91. This game came out. It's got its own gravity engine built in, so every planet has its own gravity. It affects you in different ways, and yeah, we played that game for years. It was very fun. It's got secrets. It's got all kinds of stuff. What? Okay, I'm sorry, I had the wrong brush. I was thinking about playing that one day on stream. It's really fun. I'm a little rusty though. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to. We have um some edges here. As you can see, I should remesh this and see what happens. Let's see here. Let's try to do that. How about 0.02? Okay, remesh. All right, there we go. Now that we have the proper numbers, we can just remesh to our heart's content. Got some roughness right here. That's actually not too I'm not too worried about that. That can be, well, I mean, it needs polish, but this can be something that happens. Now this is a blurry picture, so forgive me, but there is a lot of wear and tear along these corners, from rubbing up against, the environment on the ground, like if you're crawling, your arm, and then the stuff inside of it, it's rubbing up against that too. So you're gonna get some deformities, but maybe not like that. So we're going to try to get that bump and lower it a little bit. Just rub it out. There we go. And how about we just continue to do that a little bit here? But yeah, I want to play some retro. I'm in the mood to play some retro game. That's kind of the reason why I wanted to get through Shadow Hearts and get to Zelda, because Zelda has a wide range of retro games in its franchise. I think I may have an idea of when we could do franchise. I mean, I think it's gonna be on Friday, to be honest. I might do two streams on Friday. I think in the morning we'll do franchise Friday, and I'll just, since we and then after the stream I can just work on my art whenever I have time. If I have time to work on my art. But I'm thinking about just a few hours for franchise Friday, uh and then I'll come back later, later in the night with a different stream, probably something chill like Minecraft, for example. We have to see. It's Friday. Uh, if I'm free on Friday night and I feel like streaming, it could be more franchise or it could be something else. I'm not sure, but I think the day will be Friday. That's what I'm thinking. I can still fit my art in between streams, so I want to just keep. I just want to keep doing this, so we can keep making progress. I want to try to get to six meshes by the end of the year. Like I want to be able to do pages this year, so we're going to see if we can do that. The easiest way to be to just do art all the time, but I think once I show the back end, once I get the back end on stream here, I'm just gonna just start blazing it. I could maybe I kind of do that already. I do make progress off stream sometimes, but I really wanted to show this that way. If there's anyone out there who wanted to learn this, they can piece together the process from these streams. It's not like a proper tutorial or anything, but they can at least see how someone got to this point and maybe get there on their own. I am streaming myself learning this at the same time, so there's a lot of streams that I've done. Sorry, there's something in my throat. Uh, that basically show my entire process that you can see if there's something that you want to learn, if there's something you can learn from this. One day, when I get really proficient at this, I might do a tutorial, put it on YouTube. We'll see. We're a ways from that though, because I'm no expert myself. I'm still learning. I've been doing this for 3 years. This is 3 years of practice for me. So make of that what you will. I followed like maybe 3 tutorials. I followed a rigging tutorial, and I followed 2 sculpting tutorials. This is the result of that. I'm still trying to commit this stuff to memory because it is a lot. It is a very long process. And I think I can actually, there was a point where I was doing sculpts like within 2 weeks, but that was without clothing. I don't think that's the issue here. It's just the thing as a whole. You know, we have to. I got to cut down the time. I guess that'll come with practice. I'm not really sure. Can't really say for sure what is what because, like I said, I'm a noob, but maybe we can get there. I think I think the goals that I set myself out to do are attainable for the most part. So I'm gonna. Well, no, that actually that can stay. Mm, looking around here. Okay, I see something that I need to adjust. Let's see. Draw sharp. All right, so there's supposed to be a seam. These belts go underneath this seam. There's like a pad or something right here. Now I made the edges slightly, but you know, they kind of sometimes things the details get smoothed over when you remesh. So we're going to try to strengthen that a little bit. And we're going to keep going here. But yeah, I think I want to play some retro games at some point. I don't know when. It'll be I'll probably start with, well, if I don't do, you know, if I'm not already doing the Zelda. And I guess Shadow Hearts would be considered a retro game at this point. You know, shoot, that came out in 2001. But I'm talking about like Nintendo entertainment system, you know. I might just fire up Solar Jetman again. I think that might be my first one when I do get to play it. All right, so we got some jagged edges here. I think I might just hit the remesh button again. Just gonna keep remeshing it, and then we're gonna try to smooth out these holes. For some reason, holes are appearing. I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. It looks kind of ragged now, but let's see. Let's go down by one. Let's go to 0.01. I don't want to remesh this too much. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to remesh it just yet. We still have to put the details in. Okay. Now we want those seams in the front too. So I think we're still in the draw sharp. This kind of connects underneath of this seam here, like so. So I'm thinking about doing that right there. Faxanadu, that's another one. Those, I didn't own Faxanadu, but my I had a friend that had that game. I think I had two friends that had that game, as a matter of fact. And that was probably, I would say, because it has RPG elements in it. I don't know if it counts as an RPG. It's like a Zelda 2 clone, kind of. I didn't really put that together at the time, but yeah, it's comparable to Zelda 2 in some aspects. But that was my jam. I didn't really get into. I think it's not called Dragon Quest. It's called Dragon Warrior. I think that's a part of that series, Dragon Warrior series. I know that in hindsight, you know, I wasn't really an expert on Dragon Warrior back then. Those were not the type of games that I played, but I did like Faxanadu. Perhaps that could be another franchise that we play through at some point. You know, Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior. I know, actually, I already have Dragon Quest planned, but not Dragon Warrior. I don't know anything about Dragon Warrior, but I'm willing to play through it. All right, so that's how it's supposed to look. We got straps here. They go underneath. The straps are a little thick, but maybe I've been fighting with them. You saw how they looked yesterday. They look like sausages. Now it looks like, I don't know, a power cord. Maybe we can flatten them. Let's try flattening them a little bit more, make them look more like a strap. That's the one thing, because everything else looks okay. You know, it's come a long way. I'll say that. But straps are still a problem for us. We're going to need to make some straps one day, right? I got quite a few characters that have a lot of straps, And we should probably try to figure this out while we're on this character, so we're not doing it later. Now, what I'm going to need to do when working on these straps is disappear the body and the shirt. You know what? I'm going to get rid of the pants too, just because. And the boots. I don't want to see them. I don't want to see the eyes or the Solera when I'm rolling around. I just want to see this. I just want to focus on this right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the. I'm just going to try to flatten both sides here. We have enough polygons to do that, I think. And it's kind of twisted a little bit, which is fine. Sometimes they do twist. It's a thing. I'm not really concerned about that. It's a little okay. What I need to do is I want to lower the strength and maybe the radius so we're not affecting both sides. Just going to flatten it. We're going to continue flattening it. I'm just kind of going to try to work on both sides, just getting them nice and flat here. Flat, 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 flappity flat. Okay. I'm going to smooth that out right there. What is that anyway? Is that just like a little crease right there for some reason? Maybe. I think just slightly larger. Sometimes the radius is too big, it'll affect the other side too. So we have to remember to keep it at a certain size so that does not happen. And I went ahead and adjusted the strength too. You know what? I'm going to try to increase it, see if we can get away with a higher strength here. I don't know what's up with that. That was because I was trying to fix this on this side and the mirror affected it on this side. So let's see here. Grab 2D. No, grab, just regular grab. Now let's grab it and just pull this forward. Like so. And I'm going to smooth that. There, we should be fine. Now let me radius. Okay. I'm gonna use the grab tool and try to affect the shape here. We want it straight up and down like a normal strap. We don't want it like fattening in the center or anything like that. It just needs to look like a strap. I'm just trying to do the best that I possibly can. It looks a little better. Still a little beefy right here, but this is pretty flat. The bottom is pretty good, I think. So let's go with more flatten. Let's try to flatten this some more. It's flattening. I can see it flattening. I just want to keep turning it around just to make sure that we got something going here. It's just, what is going on here? Hold on. I'm focused on the mirrored side for some reason, and it's messing this side up. Sometimes it be like that. What we're going to do is we're going to turn off symmetry, or symmetry, and we're going to use the grab tool on just this side. That way we can pull out that strap right there. I'm looking. Oh, okay. Can we even do this? All right, hold on, wait. Let me inflate that just a little bit. We got to give it its meat back. We got to give back its mass. It's a little too flat. I guess this one is just way thicker than the other one, and that's why that happened. I'm not sure. We don't have any symmetry on this article of clothing here. That's for sure. So let me smooth this out. Okay, let me smooth this out some. let's see here. What do we got going? Okay, how about this? Can I pull this part out? Actually, you know what? Let me smooth this. I mean, something is happening. I just have to remember to turn symmetry back on when we're done. All right, so let me grab this. How about if we just move it this way some? That way the strap isn't as twisted. They're facing out like that, which is fine. I don't really, that doesn't bother me at all. It just needs to look like a strap. We still need some work with our straps in general, just our ability to create straps. I guess I could use a plane and fatten it, you know? But at some point, you're going to have to sculpt it. Maybe. I don't know. I think it's, it's valuable to learn how to sculpt it. So let's try to sculpt it. Now, again, the bottom is fine until about right here, I think it's fine. And um, it's just up here that needs to be flattened now for both sides. Let me try to pull that a little bit. Okay, we're looking. It's very flat. It's a little too well because we focused in the center a little bit. But I think I'm willing to accept up to here. We just got to fix this stuff up top here. That's all. Oops, that's a little too much. Just want to kind of see if we can just move it in a little bit because it kind of already has that edge, like that really soft edge. It's not like we need to, it's not going to be focused on the strap. No scenes will be focused on the strap, but just have to see. We can actually do this here. This is probably the most time I've spent on this LBE. We got something. We actually had it pretty good on my last sculpt, but I accidentally drew on the wrong face of my polygons, the finer details, and in reversing that mistake, I lost the details. Unfortunately, it kind of regressed to maybe like my previous sculpt before that, but we're not going to do that this time. This time we're going to make sure that everything is good. I forgot to check my normals. This was during the hiatus, when I was still sculpting, but I wasn't able to stream, unfortunately. But we're back, and the mistakes that I made, like a couple of mistakes actually. I think, yeah, my retopology was was real garbage. It was totally garbage. And then on top of that, I didn't have enough polygons, and I think I actually have that mistake on the copy pasted boots right here. I can probably show that real quick because the boots are completed. But this here, you see these artifacts here? This is from using too few faces. This is what you do not want to happen. Since it's the boots, it's fine. The basic shape is there. I can draw it. I have the lighting. I'll just have to ignore this. But I had this on the face. These were happening on the face of my character, which is a no-no. You can't have that. So I had to do it again. And then the second time, I drew on the wrong face. So not only did I have to rebake it, luckily I had I still had the high poly body in order to fix the face, and all I had to do was just re-retopologize it. So that was another while, and then I had drawn on the wrong face. You can flip it back, but it really severely dulls the details. So lesson learned. And I'm creating all new boots for my next character. He's not going to be wearing these kinds of boots. So we're going to be able to create better boots, and I might just retroactively pass those boots back to my other characters as well. That way they have better boots. I can upgrade them that way. if I so choose. But you know what? I'm just gonna not worry about that, to be honest. I could do it, but the boots they have are fine. I mean, I can work with them. Let me lower my radius here. Uh, push this back. Working on the strap. Working on the straps. We don't have to tweak the our little pouches any further, I think. So we will be just fine there. I think we need to flatten this a little bit. Let's see here. We got. Let's see. Let's try flatten. Oh yeah, we need to turn this on. We're going to flatten it just a little bit on that side and then flatten it a little bit on this side. I'm trying to get a decent balance between front and back, flattening the front and the back. Now, let me use the grab tool and kind of just pull out these little discrepancies here. We're kind of warping it a bit when we flatten it. It's a very skinny piece. It's a little tricky working on like little smaller things like this. But we're gonna have to figure out how to do that at some point, so it might as well be now. Don't even get me started on. I probably could do a necklace, but rings. I'm not. Yeah, I guess that wouldn't be a big deal, right? It's just a ring. You can probably just resize the ring, make the ring really large, and then just resize it around the finger. I'm trying to. Maybe you know what, and maybe that's how we can do the buckle too. To be honest, I think that might actually be possible. Oh, wrong grab. Let's not do that. All right. Let's see. Flatten contrast. We're gonna keep going here. We're gonna be flattening and contrasting. Let's see. Let's go this way. Uh-oh. I saw the effects of what I did on the other strap. Okay, that's actually not bad. We just need to smooth out those little wrinkles. Actually, I don't know. I mean, I guess a strap could have. Nah, we just need to do better. We need to do better. We can't be saying, well, if we can fix it, we're gonna try to fix it. It's not like we were like it was when we were starting out. We're like, oh, I'll fix that later. I'll fix it next time. We can fix it now. We have the ability to fix it right now, and we're getting better at it with every sculpt. So let's see if we can continue that here. Okay, and yeah, you know what? Those aren't so bad. I kind of want to twist the straps so that they're facing straight on, but let's see. We just need to grab. Maybe that could be. I want to smooth that out right there. I don't know. I think that's in the good enough category. I mean, I can try to affect their shape more. It's just so I'm not spending too much time on this here, but we are getting better at it. But yeah, I think maybe I can take a plane, stretch it, beef it up, and then add the edges in retopology that way for straps. That might be possible. We're going to have to ponder a way to do straps better for the future. Maybe completely sculpting them from scratch, or from the mask, I should say, is not the best way to do it. These are, making straps wasn't something that I learned in a tutorial. I literally just tried to brainstorm a way to do it, and this is what I came up with. It looks okay, I guess, but maybe I should look for a way to see how other people do straps, just to get an idea. Hey, Judicious, welcome to the stream. Everyone, join us in following Judicious. Yes, I am sure. What in the world? Okay. I did that through MoveBot. Follow Judicious. He made his own mod pack. He's a mod pack creator of Builder's Delight 4. It's in its beta stage. We all, me and a few other friends, streamers, streamer friends, we all play tested. We were on it briefly yesterday, last night, play testing it. I think 99 Heal Potions, another one of my mods was, well, I don't think, I know he was streaming it. Okay. You can, if you follow any of us, you can see the pack in action at some point. I'm going to be on it this weekend, most likely. And also, Judicious plays survival games. Aska, Bellwright, Valheim. I know he plays Ark and Conan Exiles. So check him out. Give him a follow. We are continuing our LBE here. We got a pretty decent shape going. I'm working on the well, I was working on the straps. I think the front straps are good, to be honest. The back straps are a little bit thinner. Not sure how much more flat we can get them without deforming them severely, but doing all right. We'll be having a great morning. What's new? What's the new news? I am trying to get to the next stage here, of course. I think we're doing all right. I think we're doing just fine. Some colder weather has returned to us. We can deal. We're gonna make it. We're gonna get through it. All right. Let me just flatten all of that. You know, I think that's about as good as it's gonna get. That was actually much easier than the front straps. But yeah, I'm thinking about trying to make straps a different way. We're going to have to learn how to make straps eventually. At least better straps. Uh, I'm thinking about not masking them, maybe using this as an example, doing the belt and then the shoulder strap, right? And then just taking a plane, stretching it, adding sides to it, and then connecting them together and then just calling it a freaking day. That's what I'm thinking about doing. I think that would be a much easier way to do it, but these look slightly more organic. You know, it looks actually, they have the shape of a strap at least, and the form of a strap, I should say. They're a little bumpy, but I think that's as best as we're gonna do. It's very hard sculpting very thin things like this, but I think the plane, making a plane 4D and connecting it to two other meshes would probably be the way to go. All right, I think we done did it. Let's check out what we did here, see if anything is clipping. I think it's fine, to be honest. We can probably start putting details on it now. I've already affected the form of the shirt, so that way it looks like it kind of is getting, tucked in the belt a little bit. And I have the wrinkles following the arch of his back some, and he's got his little backpack here. Actually, have no idea what's in there. It doesn't matter because he's not going to use anything that could be in there. Just use your imagination. Maybe it's a med pack. Maybe it's a freaking maybe some rope. I don't know. Uh, I have no idea what could be in there, but there's something in there. Anyway, we're gonna have to do some details. Maybe he has his own trinkets in there. Trinkets from Minecraft. Okay, let me see. All right, let's put the body back. We can leave the body on now because it's not in the way, I don't think. Let's put the boots back on. And let's give him his eyes back. Let's see. Cornea. Why did I say it like that? Solera and yeah, okay. Yes, we have so far. These are probably the best clothes that we made. I think that we can, as we go on, we'll keep making better clothes. My next character is going to be done manually. I'm not going to do garment tool for the next character. I'm going to just try to sculpt it myself. I mean, I did this from the mask. Turns out pretty well. I think I can do that. I can just do that with the shirt and pants, and that's only because of the type of clothing that I have to do. I don't think these generic templates will fit what I need to do. So we're going to have to, I'm going to see, I'm going to try the next one completely manually, just mask and extract to a new object from the mask. I know I can do it, you know, it's just because I just did it, you know, with the LBE. I'm just going to have to sculpt all of the wrinkles, which is fine. I don't really mind doing that. All right, now where to start? Let's see here. Okay, we're on the LB still. I just want to make sure. Let's save it. I want to save it. That way we ain't got to worry about anything. I'm going to start with this here. Do I have a proper, good clear picture? Because I'm using a blurry picture. That's actually bad practice. You want to have decent references, but it's enough for me. Okay, it's enough. Let me try uniform 3. Okay, here we go. Let me, yeah, they don't have anything in there. I'm pretty sure that's a reenactment, not the actual Vietnam War picture. I think this is just people who are reenacting it. But we're here for the uniform. So I'm looking for. Okay. Yeah, we know. We know already that part. I'm going to do the flap. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load a radius and oh, thanks a lot for lurking. I hope you have a great day at work. Appreciate you stopping by, Judicious. Um, I am going to draw sharp this. There's a flap that, and it's kind of in this shape. It kind of curves around the front. It's flat, and then or sorry, curves down on the sides, and it's flat in the front, and then curves back up. So we're going to create that shape. I'm going to. I need a lower radius for that because we don't want to make that. Actually, you know what? Maybe I should mask that too. Let's try doing that. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to try masking it instead. And we have the mirror on. I had to make sure. We're just gonna just slowly draw it in. There's it's a really simple thing to do here. Now I didn't really need to trace the top like that. It's really only the bottom right here is what I'm concerned about. That's the only important shape. I'm just doing it just because I don't know why I'm doing it. I just keep doing it though. It's all right. All right, now we can cut over this right here, like so. And now we just need to make that match the other side. I think it's something like that. Okay, that should be close enough. That's a little bit on the belt though. Let me back up some. All right, how about that? And we'll go ahead and just rotate it. Just want to see, make sure that it's cool. I think it's cool. All right, now we can just color in the top to our heart's content. The flap stops right there, so I'm not gonna worry about that. And we want to avoid the strap a little bit here. Just trying to connect it. We don't need to form that part. We only need to manipulate the bottom here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to mask this, and I'm going to invert the mask like we normally do. And I'm gonna grab the top and kind of just fold it over itself, try to create the flap that way, like we did with the pockets, cargo pocket, whatnot, and the back pockets, which you actually can't see anymore because of the shirt, but they are there. Um, and let's go commando for a second here. Okay, you can kind of see them, but like that. All right, there we go. Okay. I hope I didn't. Okay, we didn't. We're cool. We're good. I thought for a second that I crossed the line here on the bottom. We don't want to do that. We want to color inside that line. We want to fill it in those lines right there. And we're going to do around the belt. We don't want to touch the strap at all. Hey, capturing details. Welcome to the stream. Why is that a question? Can you hear me? You can hear me, right? But hello. Oops, I put a space in your name. Hey, I'm good. How are you? All right, everyone, join us in following capturing details. He does photography. I believe it's like cars, like racing oriented. We are in a community of a lot of creatives. It's the web creative community. There's a lot of photographers, artists of all kinds, and yeah, give him a follow. Check him out. There is he does a lot of photo editing and things like that. That's good. That's good to hear. Hope you're having a great hump day. We call it Wednesday hump day. I don't know if that's something that you are familiar with, but we're getting over it and we're going to make it. I'm doing some flaps for these pouches here. Got to make sure that we fill in all these holes, and we're going to continue going. That's what we're going to do. Just a normal day here. It's not official. It's just a nickname, you know. It's just something that people say, you know, since it's the middle of the week, Wednesday. It's probably not Wednesday for you, but it's Wednesday for us, and we consider that the middle of the week, the hump day, the hump of the week. You know, getting over it is like a short term goal. It's like a thing. I don't know. I don't know if they, like I said, I don't know if anybody in different countries um, considers it that, but you know, it's just something that some people say. Anyway, later go for a walk. Oh, that's good. Yeah, walking's great. 24 kilometers. Okay. All right. Yeah. Good to stay in shape. I'm buying a home gym this month. So I can go back to working out. I was pretty heavy into that for a long time, and then I got sick. I used to go to a public gym, and I got sick, and then I haven't went back. And I was like, that was years ago. But now it's time to get back. It's time to get back into hitting the rock pile. You know what I'm saying? It's another nickname. Don't worry. Anyway, this is our flaps. I used to run a lot. I haven't run in a while. It'd be nice to do some cardio too. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Let's see here. We are going to get uh the grab tool. Increase it. There we go. Now I should move. If not, my back will hurt because I work with computers, sat down all the yeah, that is not super great to do for long periods of time, but you know, working out is definitely good. Let's see here. I'm gonna pull this out and over the dark area. Oops. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, we're back. We don't want to do that. We want to pull this out and over the dark area to make it look like a flap. That's what we're doing. Will I bring some hamburger in those boxes? Yes, they're gonna be. There's lots of you can fit lots of hamburgers in these boxes right here. Put some Whoppers in there. Do you have a Burger King over there? I don't think so, right? Probably don't like that type of stuff, right? I saw it was a talk show host. His name was Conan O'Brien, and he walked through. He did like a special. It was like a tour with one of the producers on his show through Italy, and I think one of those. It was like Naples. It was like some. It was like more countryside towns and cities rather than the main cities. But they have really nice restaurants over there. I would like to have some authentic Italian food one day. I made some lasagna, but it's probably not the way that you make lasagna normally. Um, it's not Italian. Not really Italian. I don't know. I don't know the method, but I'm just going to assume that I probably did not make it in a way that people would approve of. But it was good. It's very good. Burger King. Oh, okay, yeah. You should come here to discover by yourself. Yeah, yeah. Italy was always a country that I had some interest in visiting. I've never been to Italy. I think the closest I've been was Germany, Leipzig. That's as close as I've been to Italy. I've never actually been to Italy. Germany is near, yeah. That's the closest I've been. But yeah, one day I'd like to check it out. I like traveling. It's really fun being in the world. You know, I haven't done it in a while, but I'd like to do it again someday. Now those look like flaps to me. They're kind of stubby. They should be a little further down. I think I might just grab the bottom and just pull it down a little bit. Let's see. Let me go ahead and save that. Never been to USA or Canada or anywhere over the ocean. That's okay. I mean, I'm not really sure how traveling is now because I haven't done it in a while myself, but I'm sure that there are some, lots of people visit New York. I've never been to New York though. We're like 120 miles away from New York. I've never actually set foot there, but I'm sure that New York would be a nice place to visit, Times Square, but don't take that as gospel from me because I've never been to New York, so I can't really tell you where to go. Yeah, traveling it can be expensive, yes. Definitely. Let me see. Let me move this a little bit. Okay. You know what? I think we're good on the flaps. This year holidays will be honestly cheap. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good. I was looking at it was the I forget the name of this of the area now, but it was a place in Portugal uh where they have the 100-foot waves. Those man, that would be crazy to see in person. Apparently, if like when the waves crash, you can feel the ground shake. Like that's how large the waves are, and these are the biggest waves that I've ever seen. Now I've only seen it through TV, but that would be amazing. And people surf these waves. Too much in food? Yeah, food can be expensive. Unless you go to a place that has like a lot of street food. I know I was looking at a place where they have this street food in Taiwan. It actually looks really good, and it's super cheap though. It's like a couple bucks, and you get yourself some nice street snacks or whatever. I don't know the place you're saying. Yeah, I forget what it was called. You know what? I'm gonna look it up really quick, just real fast. It's like a cape. Give me 1 second. Oh my, no script. Hold on. Give me a second. Um, Nazare, Portugal. It's called I don't know if that's how I pronounce it or you're supposed to pronounce it, but it's in Nazare, and here is the name of it. This is the name. Why didn't that? There we go. I don't know how to. I'm not sure about the pronunciation, but that is the place. I walk from a city to another 6 days. Oh wow, yeah, that's great. I think the longest that I have walked would be 25 miles in one day. It only took 3 hours. No, sorry, it did not take 3 hours. It took 6 hours actually. No, it was 12 hours actually. Sorry. I left. I can't actually remember when it started, but it was after midnight. I can tell you that right now. And then we walked for 25 miles, and we were done by noon. And that was a pretty long walk, but it was kind of fun in hindsight. You know, the longest day would be 28 kilometers. Let's see. Oh, okay, yeah, that's almost as long as my longest. Yeah, we did 12. That's 25. That's about what you did was about 18 miles. 18 of our miles. You know, we have a different measuring system. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. But yes, that's about 18 miles. So yeah, we did 25. The longest I ran was about 11 or 12 miles. That was 3 hours of running. We had salt accumulating on the outside of our body because we just kept running. We were running pretty fast too. That was interesting. But yes, I was running with a bunch of other people. Okay, so I think we're done with this. Let me see. Alt M. Uh, let's see. Okay, let me try to pull down the flap a little bit. Or not flap, but the the pouch, the entire pouch. I'm gonna just try to stretch it down some. It's supposed to be longer than that. This is what I'm looking at. This one's a little flat. There's nothing in that one, but we this one is full, so we're going by that. Oh, okay. Let me see. Madonna Madonna del Fernelli. I don't know. I'm sorry if that's the wrong pronunciation. Oh, okay. Yeah, it looks nice. Hang on. Sorry, that's my phone. Oh, okay. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like a nice area. Oh my god. Okay. Huh. Okay. Ancient furnaces used to make charcoal from wood and lime from stones. Is that the that's apparently that's like a rough translation of the name? Cool. You spelled kind of fine. Yeah, sorry about that. The highest point, is that a high altitude area? Can I move this down? Let's try moving that down some more. I don't want to mess up the form that we've worked so hard to achieve here. But these need to be longer. Let's see. Let's go ahead and just pull these out some more and kind of down a little bit. That does not look like I've achieved any more length. Paso della Futa. Okay. Let me see. Let me move this around. Doesn't look like I'm affecting it at all. Okay, there. Okay, a little bit, maybe a little bit. We do have symmetry on, right? Yes, we do. I do not want to do this again. I don't know why that's there, but what I'm thinking about doing is moving it to the middle where the buckle is gonna be, and then we'll just sculpt over it. Also, I don't know why this is here either. What happens? What is going on with these little rips and tears that happen out of nowhere? No idea. Let's see. Let me see something real quick. I'm gonna look up that name you typed there. Do they have trails in this Futa Pass? I see they have a racetrack. That's a nice little beach. Yeah, nice area. I'm looking at pictures of this area. No, it's not. Okay. Now I need to know. Well, I don't know. Oh no, I see. It's the elevation is 903 meters. That's not too bad. Apennines, an elevation of 903 meters. Okay. Oh, you have the maps in the PC? Yeah, I'm just googling it. I I don't know how accurate it is, but in the area looks nice. Looks beautiful. It kind of reminds me of Washington State in some areas, mainly the wilderness. Not so much the farms. I don't think there's a lot of farms in Washington State, but um, definitely the wilderness. My highest elevation was about 10 years ago from 890 to 2320. I used to live in Colorado, which is kind of the southwest of our country, and I think that's about 6,000 feet above sea level. It's very hard to run there if you're not used to it. If you're used to running at sea level and then you start running in a high altitude place like that, you always feel like you're out of breath. But if you run in a high altitude for a while and then you go to a lower altitude, it feels like you can run forever. It's crazy. Even if you haven't run in a while, like you can like take like some months off of running, and then go to a lower altitude and you just feel like that you just have like limitless energy. It's crazy. But yeah, it was very hard for me, for someone that as in those days, I was pretty good at running, but I was pretty well in shape. But in high altitude, that was very tough. That was probably the hardest I've ever had to deal with as far as running is concerned. It just felt like my lungs were just they were just tired all the time. I was just like, I'm running, and then and then go run in another state, and suddenly I'm not even tired at all. Highest of the 6 days. Oh, okay. A lot of running uphill. You gotta. I'm assuming that you're going to be running to these areas, right? On the sea level. Okay. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Let's see. All right, we got some flaps. I'm gonna try to put on the uh the straps in the center. I think for that, only thing I would need would be some clay strips, maybe, and I'm not really sure how we're gonna get the details on here. Let me save it though, just so we don't lose the progress we've done. Yeah, running's pretty fun. You know, once you're in shape and you know you can do it. It's probably not fun getting into shape, but you can start small, right? I remember when I first started running, I just ran around a lake. It was kind of tough because I was not very athletic when I started running, but once I got into shape, it becomes kind of addicting, you know. I think I'll take some landscape photos. Let's see. Try to. I probably need to smooth out that bit right there. Yeah, it's the reason why I'm already walking some kilometers, even if still 2 months. Yeah, it's getting into shape is it can be a little difficult, but it's definitely worth it. I'm going to try to add that. I mean, I guess the clip can stay. Maybe I can go around it. Will there be a button on the pockets? There is supposed to be a clip. It's like a clip right here. But the problem with that is I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to do it though. With finer details, it's a little difficult trying to work in very small areas. But I think I think the best way to do it would be to make a separate clip like off to the side and then just size it all the way down really tiny and then put it on. That would be the best way to do it, but um I'm not doing that for some reason. Like I figure I like I can guess that's probably the best reason. I'm gonna try to just sculpt it on though. If this were like if I'm going to draw these characters, like this isn't the final product, but say like if I was making a 3D video game character, then we would make sure that all the details are right. And I think I would do that. I would just make the belt clip over here really big and then put all the details in and then just shrink it down and attach it right there. That would probably be the best way to do it. But I'm just gonna sculpt it in. Or at least try to. What am I doing? Oh yeah. I don't know. That's very it's very ramshackle. I think no, I don't know. I lost those details in the other one. Let me see. Let me see real quick. Save open recent let's see GH1. Because you know I know nothing about modeling, but I think you're doing a great work. Oh, I appreciate that capture. Yeah, we're just learning. I'm learning how to do it. We are we're going beyond the learning material that I followed. We're pretty much in the area of just figuring stuff out on our own now. This is my previous character. These details were a little bit better, but as you can see, I just kind of just did it in a little bit there and then just left it. But there actually was a clip here. It's just I messed up the details because I drew them on the wrong thing. As you can see here, I didn't do as nearly as much detail on this as I'm doing now, but we're going to try to make a better uh, belt and straps than I did on this character here. I'm still rigging him, so that's why it's a little incomplete, but this is where we're trying to go with him. Okay? That's basically it. That's what I'm trying to do. Recent CEGM. Right. Okay. There we're back. Yeah, we're gonna get there. Okay, no problem capturing details. Thank you for stopping by. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna try to get this done. Oh, no problem capturing details. No problem at all. Go ahead and do what you got to do. We are going to try to get this done. Yeah, you don't have to apologize for that. It's all good. It's all good. Let me. Oh, I'm plateauing it. No wonder. I want to do flatten because kind of Plateau kind of seems like it flattens it and then raises it, which I guess could help, but um, no, we're not going to do that. We're not doing that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, at a glance, you kind of get an idea of what's supposed to be there, but it actually does not look like a buckle. So we're gonna try to fix this. We're gonna figure out how to make a belt, a clip, sculpt a clip. As you can see, I kind of just this is where I stopped on my last model, but I'm pretty sure that I actually did put the details in at one point. It's just like I said, I made some mistakes, and when I recovered them, and I think I flipped the details back without first I flipped the normals, which put the details on the inside of the mesh, and then I inverted them, and but they weren't as sharp, and I really didn't want to go back and do it again because I had already made a mistake where I had to restart once again, and I didn't want to do it a third time, so I just kept going. I was like, you know what, we're going to make sure that we don't do this mistake ever again, okay, and we'll just do it better this time. So but I do remember doing the details for a clip. It wasn't, great, but you could tell from a distance that, oh yeah, that's a clip. It just wasn't very detailed. It was like a Nintendo 64 texture or something, but it was there. You could see it. You can see what it is. And that was really all I need. That's really all I need from when I'm drawing. See at a yeah, you can kind of tell, you get the, the basic details and you can see, oh, that's where it clips at, but you go in, it doesn't look like anything. It looks like some, I don't know, like a beak or something. We're going to try to do better. That's the goal. You saw where we came from. Now we're going to greater heights. Okay. I'm going to hit remesh. Ooh, I don't know. Can we keep that? Let's take a look around. Yeah, I guess we're fine. I guess we're fine. We'll just do better. I'm going to try to flatten. But like I said, it probably would just be better for me to just make the clip off to the side and then attach it in the front. And I'm probably going to start doing that because the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. One second, because I don't hear anything, and I want to make sure everything is cool. Okay, everything is cool. Everything is cool. All right. I'm talking the music. I want to make sure that it wasn't. I have to go through my playlist and increase the volume for some of the music that's there. Sometimes some of it's too low. But that's another time. That's a project for another time. There's a lot of work that I have to do for this stream. A lot of little things I wanted to add. I just never got around to doing yet, but we'll get there. And let's see here. We need to grab some stuff. Grab. So we're going to try to concentrate on the basic shape of said buckle, which looks like we have a raised area now that we can work from, which is good. We just have to make it look better. And as far as these edges, I want to kind of just reduce their bumpiness. It's just like I said, working with very small details, you get things like this, but before we bake, we will be able to fix this. So if you're looking at this, um, don't fret. We're not done with the details, even when we are past this point. We're going to return to all of them when we finally do the baking, bake the final details on it. We should be able to iron out all the kinks by that point, I think. Um, grab. I kind of want to flatten this more, make it an even space. And let's see, Try to grab this around. Okay, now we're going to grab this and go up. Draw sharp. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab or get some edges in right here. We can probably make a basic buckle. It doesn't have to be accurate, but we can just have the information of a buckle being there. Just as long as you can clearly see that it's a buckle. That's what I care about, because that will be something that we can draw on the panel. You have that information there. Already that looks better than our last buckle that I just shown. Let's see here. Still got to do the bag. The bag is going to have two straps down here. We got to put buckles or belt loops there. That'll be easy, and in the front as well. Gonna just try to affect the shape a little bit more. Maybe we can flatten the sides. And maybe we can put, because apparently, you know, it's not like a newer pouch where you can clip them. It looks like a loop, like a belt loop, where it's something that you put through a loop and tie down. So maybe we can put just that same loop there. Again, that will be era accurate. That's a very minor detail that probably no one would ever catch on to. Well, maybe now because I just mentioned it, but uh, I don't think it's not going to matter. It's not going to be important to the story, you know. But attention to detail is always nice to add. You know, people appreciate that, I think, sometimes. So we can always keep doing that, or keep, best practice, add those types of details. All right, now keeping its flatness, we're going to try to raise it away from the pouch a little bit more, just a little bit more. It has its own dimension now. It's not just a bump on the pouch. We're giving it its own anatomy, if you will. And this is supposed to be a strap, so it doesn't really matter if it's super crooked, to me anyway, because it's not solid. It's not a solid shape. I mean, not solid, not like the hard solid. It's a rope. Obviously, or not, or nylon. It's nylon, but it is still a solid technically. I'm just saying that giving it its own shape. And I think there is a little bit of fabric attached to the flap up top here. From what I'm seeing, I'll give you an example how it kind of attaches to this Y-shaped fabric right there. I could probably add that, and this is the loop that I was talking about. It looks like it's just a loop, so maybe we can just do that. But like I said, we have enough information here. You can just you pull back. Oh yeah, look, that's where it connects. That's where my brain is telling me this. That's where it shuts down like that. But we're going to try to add some more information there for it's a reference, so it's all information to draw from when we're drawing the scenes. We're going to give it more form here, so there's, without a shadow of a doubt, we know what it is from pretty much any angle. If we have to add more detail, we can do that on the page itself, but we want to make this as best as we can without spending too much time on it. See if we can do that Y shape kind of. Okay, it's starting to become a little bit of a tumor like shape there. And then maybe we can just smooth this out let me take a look at my smoothing brush because that did not really have the desired effect that I wanted. So we're going to increase the strength by a lot and then try to smooth this down like so. Maybe like that. Maybe something like that. And then maybe we can, and you see we can kind of we already started the seams for that Y shape there. And we may have to add it on that side, but I think we can. I think we can. Draw sharp. I'm gonna hold down control. We're gonna get some action up in here. And I'm going to try to trace the edge on this side as well. This side didn't really have an edge, but we're going to add it here. Let's see, we're going to just attempt to, I think maybe we can squash this in a little bit so it's not so raised. I think that could be a way to really hammer home the detail that we're trying to go for. Now let's try flattening the entire front here. A little bit more. Uh-oh. Let's go for a bigger radius. I don't want it to be to where we're just denting it. We are denting it though. Oh, that's because it's draw sharp. Whoops. That wasn't the right brush. All right, so let's flatten it. All right, there's some more. Just a little bit more. Okay. Now I think that we have a proper shape there. Let's try um using the grab tool. We're going to increase that radius there. Let's push it in some, like so. Let's push that there, just so it's not so raised on the side here. It's supposed to be a loose flap, but it doesn't look so loose, does it? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make it a little thinner. Kind of looks like a elephant trunk. There. Now the only thing we need is the strap or the little loop, the belt clip itself to keep it shut. And I think that should be pretty good. Let me go ahead and save it. That wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. We found a way to do it. That's the important part. I wonder if I can take this LBE when we're done with it and then just retroactively fit it into the previous sculpts. So that way they have a better looking LBE, you know? Their details are a little melted because, I didn't have the skill yet and I wasn't trying to spend the time on it at the time. But now that we're getting a little bit better at this, we can probably make that a little bit better. We can import this one to the older ones, attach it to the rig, because that's another thing that we have to solve. We got to make sure the rig works properly so we can pose the characters. That's probably the most important part. And once we get that done, then we can start making the scenes. We get to 6 characters. We don't have to do anything else. Sorry, I feel like I'm going to sneeze again. I don't know why this happens when I'm streaming. I don't see how speaking will make someone sneeze, but apparently that's the case. It's not dusty in here. I keep my place clean. But normally, for some reason I've been noticing I sneeze way more often when I'm streaming for some reason. Anyway, how about we draw sharp this a little bit better? This. We're getting there. Okay. Now it's time to make that loop there. I can kind of get an idea here. It loops over the top and then it has like a buckle going around or something. I'm not really sure, but we're going to just try to add that in now. Do I want to do I want to just try to sculpt it in or maybe inflate? See if that works. I don't know. Okay, maybe it's coming a little bit there. What if we go 1,000? Stop me. Try to stop me now. Here we go. All right, here we go. It could work. It could work, I think. Maybe. Maybe? Maybe not. I don't know. I don't think that's the way. Can we go back? You know what? It don't matter. We'll just smooth it. We don't have the steps to go back, so we'll just smooth that out. That's where the loop is going to go anyway. All right, so we'll just do clay strips. Clay strips at 1,000. Can we get one going here? Oh, that's not it. That's not the way. Hmm. Like I said, working in very small size voxel sizes sometimes can be a little problematic. That's why I said it's probably easier to just make the small details really big and then just shrink them down and attach them when you're done. That's something I might actually start doing in the future. It's more work, it's a lot slower than just trying to etch in the details like this strap here, and just I think maybe if we oh, excuse me, I didn't mean to do that. Pull back. I hit remesh. Now I want to see, look around and see if that messed up any of our finer details. I guess not. All right, so we're going to, okay, see, look, now it's much easier. Now that we have the polygons to work with, we can just easily do it. And this is the clay strip, right? Yes, it is. Okay. So what if we go here? And what if we go like that, huh? Let's try inflating that area a little bit. What I want to do is I want to increase the radius and go like this. We can smooth this down. I know it's a little bit. Well, actually, you know what? We could probably just leave it like that. Why not? But no, we're not going to leave it like that. We want to make this a little bit more round. Make it look like a wire or a hook, a loop of some kind. I think we can beef it out by inflating just slightly below that area and on top as well. Try to make it look more like a ring. Okay. And we can just smooth it out later. And later being like very soon, actually. Okay. We're going to smooth this a little bit. Just a little bit. It's very lumpy, but trying to smooth. Well, you know what? I probably already hit 12 clicks, by that point. But we can just inflate it again. What I want to do is lower my smoothing brush. Okay. That's what we're talking about doing right now. That's what we're thinking about doing. See, already it looks like, we had those finer details there. They're a little rough when you get up on them, but if I were to draw this, I can see, oh yeah, there's the loop. I can draw in the loop, no matter the perspective, you know. All right, so let's. I believe this is smooth. Yes, it is. Let me see. Let me take this down to 200. Smooth it out. Oh, okay, cool. Smooth it out. Smooth that some be out. All right, now, okay, it's there for the time being. Now, okay, let's go on ahead and kind of loop around like so. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow this, what little bit of reference we got here, loop here, and a loop around this way. I'm not sure what this is. I'm not going to add, I'm not going to worry about that. I mean, I could just put it in and see, and but I don't know what it is, so I can't, I'm not going to add it. I'm sure it has something to do with a clip, the way it clips, but I'm not going to worry about it. Let's go around here. All right, we're starting to get into the little areas here where we got little nooks and crannies that we need to polish, even though I don't think this would be a factor in anything. But if this were the final product, we would have to fix all this stuff too. Like if we added this into a game, we would make sure that there's no details like this, that people can just pan the camera and be like, "Oh, look at this." We'd have to eliminate everything so things like that don't happen in your game. Take away from the overall style. I'm sure we'll get to that one day. I do have an interest in making a game, and maybe one day, hopefully, we won't have to worry about any problems with sculpting a character out. But that's a ways to go from from this to that. So I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm going to worry about our webcomic project, and we're going to focus on that. What we need is just enough detail for it to look decent, enough to draw accurately, and we're just slowly edging our way into making small details like that look good. Hmm. I'm thinking about remeshing it one more time. It looks like this loop is over that loop, so I'm going to just go over it some. Trying to get, oh, yeah, I might have to remesh it because that looks not great. This side looks fine, I guess. Just gotta make sure it doesn't look like we're playing with Play-Doh here. How about to 0.3? All right, so we got to smooth this out now. Or maybe we can beef it up and then smooth it out. Is there a hole there? Can we get rid of that hole somehow? All right, let me flatten it just a little bit. Uh, let's smooth this. That's not what we want. We gotta remember, you gotta work in 3D space. You gotta look at it from all angles. So things like that don't end up in your final product. This is not smooth. We're gonna try to smooth it like that. There, now it looks something like a loop, a belt loop, a buckle. We could probably stretch this flap down a little bit so it looks like it's worked through it. Come on. All right, let's try smoothing it out. Now, what we need is looking around. Okay. I want to lower the smoothness here. We don't want to mess this up. We just want to smooth it to the point where it looks better than this. It doesn't like it's just like squeezed on through a tube. We still got some artifacts there. It's okay though. I think we can work this out. Not like that. Let me lower the radius a little bit. Okay, that's a little better. That's very, that's still very sloppy, I guess. Oh my gosh. All right, hold on, wait. We gotta let me grab the grab tool first of all. I think we can fix this. Let's move it back. We're working really small area here. We have to do a couple more things too. We have to do these loops here on each side and here. But this is probably more important because this is at the front of the character and it's most likely going to be what you see the most. So, and we're going to have to actually straighten those out. I don't know why I'm not seeing that, but maybe we can just grab these areas and pull them to where we want them. Where we at here? Okay, we got. Oh, that's a little too much. Let's try to inflate this area a little bit and then smooth it. I'm trying to get rid of those bumps and these little creases. Trying, failing. I think hitting remesh would actually get rid of that. I'm just not certain if I would, if I should. I mean, all right. So we're gonna get this behind that a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, and then we're gonna, yeah. You know what? Let's try hitting remesh and see what happens. We can always go back. All right, that disappeared. Good. Let's try to smooth this out. We have a buckle. It's kind of lumpy, but like I said, it's something that we have enough information, and now you have enough information to see what it is. Uh, let me grab this. I'm gonna increase the radius. I'm gonna grab this edge here, and I'm gonna yank it down just a little bit, so that it looks like it's actually folded over in. And while we're on the grab tool, I'm gonna increase the radius further and pull. Oh, yeah, okay, that should be enough. Pull this side down some, because for some reason that was crooked, and I'm not sure why I didn't catch that before. That might be a little bit too much radius because we're having trouble pulling this corner down and this little area up, that area down. Push this in a little bit. Okay. Now we're going to take this corner and we're going to pull it down. And there's some clipping issue down here. Might need to adjust that later. Still looks a little, well, I mean, it is a pouch after all. It's not that hard. It's like a pouch with like a, I don't know, like a frame in it that keeps it boxy, but I'm not sure if this is actually a problem because they can be deformed. It does look like a pouch still. It's the proper size. All right, so we got a buckle there. I mean, this looks pretty good to me. This is a little pulled down a little bit too much. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lower the radius and I'm gonna pull this part up. Just tuck it up underneath that belt there. There we go. All right, now we're gonna lower the radius just a little bit more, and we're going to inflate this area right here, just so it looks a little bit better. Okay, so yeah, we got a very basic buckle there, but it works. It actually looks like it's there. It looks like there's something there, not just a bump like we did the last time. So we are getting small steps of improvement here. Let's go ahead and save that. Let's try the front of the buckle. Hmm. What if I I mean I could just I could just lame it out and just put a buckle there and just call it a day, but that is not accurate to the equipment at all. There's no such thing. We're going to have to separate this and then attach it with a hook and a pin like this. This is like the hook. Well, it's not really a hook, but you know, it's like a loop. It's a loop that hooks with a pin to a pin on the other side. Okay. And then maybe some of this detail later. But this is what we're working on. This is what we're going to try to achieve. This will look a little mangled actually. Before we go on, let me turn off symmetry and unmangle this hook here, or sorry, not the hook, but the loop that's supposed to be here. Let's unmangle that a little bit. I'm gonna try to fill in some of those bumps with more polygons, and now I'm going to try to just nudge them together into a loop like so. And with any luck, we'll get the desired shape that we need. I'm only working on this side. I think the other side's good because that was the side we were working on. It's still a little lumpy, but we can fix that later with the micro details, I think, because we'll have multi-resolution modifiers on, and that should help us achieve even greater detail than before. We just need something here so we can fix it later. And I don't mean by fix it later as in, you know, off stream. I mean, we're going to finalize these details down the road. Every last bit, including, you know, the entirety of this body. You know, we're going to add veins, wrinkles, all that stuff. So that's part of the process. But we have something to work with here. We're establishing it now so we can uh, increase those details later. Nothing actually, that didn't really work, did it? I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to smooth out that bump, but it doesn't seem to want to do anything. That's a grab tool. Just slight, ever so slight. I can't get rid of the cracks right now without remeshing it. And apparently we got a second lump in there. Let me do this and then let me smooth out behind it a little bit. You're not really gonna see that, so I'm not really too concerned about that. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the grab tool and push this down. Wait, hold on. I gotta push that down some. Push this back. And maybe we can get that under control a little bit. We could just ignore the bumps. Like I said, we have enough here to draw. Just draw a loop and another loop with a strap. That's it. But we want to start doing whatever we can with the sculpting, because that might serve me well later down the road when we actually are doing 3D projects and they are the final product. This is this is it. This is what the observer is going to be seeing as a final product. Okay, let's move this a little bit, just a little bit more. I'm not sure if we can get rid of that. Let me try lowering the radius, and then I know what will fix it now. If I remesh it again, that will fix it. I'm just gonna go back because we turned symmetry back on, and I don't want to mess up the other buckle. They're already asymmetrical, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. You can see it. See the buckles there, they're pretty good. Not, I mean, when as good as they can be, you know, from what we did. You know, we're still trying to lock down our ability to create these finer details, but it's better than the lump. I showed the lump earlier. It's better than that. Let's see. We got here. Ding 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 ding. I just wanted to get rid of that little dip. That's fine. I mean, it can have a dip, but I wanted to adjust it a little bit more. I just wanted to make a little bit of tweak there. All right, let's save it. All right, now we're back to the belt buckle. We already know what we want to do. I'm thinking about taking the grab tool and just grabbing the center and just pulling it down. That's not going to work though, is it? We can use it with a mask though. We can do a mask and do that. We can do that method with a mask. That will work. This is how we created the space between the toes. So it should work for this because I do believe that's a smaller space. Okay, we're gonna have to go a little closer. We may have to disappear the body for a bit. LP body, um, pants and shirt. Okay, there we go. We're gonna have to go all the way around because we're gonna crush this whole area down and then try to build it back up with a pin on this side with a circle and a wire going around it on this side. That's the goal. That's the plan. Control I. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take the grab tool, boost it. Since we have a mask, we can go as high as we want, and we're just going to pull all this all the way down. We're going to pull this all the way up. I think it could work this way. And we're going to smooth it out while we're here, just to try to make it a little better. Like so. I'm going to take it behind the LBE here. Okay. Smoothing it all. I'm going to keep smoothing it, actually. That way, it looks okay. And then maybe we can grab. Nope. I'm going to Alt-M. Now we can grab it and adjust it so that it's more vertical with the ground. I'm going to try to move this like so. I want to push this little lump down here. See that there's a lump there. I'm going to push that down. Okay. So we have something to start with. We could leave it like that. And you can use your imagination, but no, we're not going to do that. All right. We're going to take this. We're going to, like I said, we have to improve on the last one. We have to. We got to do it. So we're going to attempt to do that. Let's take you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to smooth this edge out, kind of. I don't think this is important, but I'm going to try smoothing it out a little bit more right there. And you know what? We should probably increase the strength of smooth so that way we can have a bigger effect on that. I think doing a smaller detail and smoothing out a smaller detail like this buckle here, which that's a little rough, honestly, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it right. And smoothing out smaller details with a lower strength probably would be better than using a higher strength because it's really easy to mess up the detail. on something small than it is with something big. All right, so we're gonna smooth this out some. Looking at my reference here, okay. All right, so we're gonna lay in the basic shapes and um, which is basically, of course, the pin that the hook goes around. Wait a minute, something ain't right. This right here. All right, let's go ahead and just pull the strength all the way up. I want this gone. There we go. I want that gone, and I want this smoothed out. This is the area that we're going to be concentrating on for the next couple of minutes. We'll take it back down to round 3, I guess. And let's see, we're going to go ahead and put a big dot here and only right there. All right, and now we're going to draw that wire. Now maybe we can just trace the outline of the wire around here instead of just making it an actual wire, because this actually is very thick. It should end here. The wire actually should come out maybe about really close to this edge and then wrap around here. We actually probably could do that still. I think there's a way we can make that work. If I inflate this corner like so. Oh wait, hold on. We can't do it. We can't do it with symmetry on though. Sorry. This is the only side that the wire exists on. So if we inflate this corner, wrap it around, we can at least give the illusion that this is a loose wire that is wrapped into the belt somewhat, and the belt's wrapped around that, so we can keep the thickness here without even having to change it, maybe, and still have the look of a wire wrapping around a pin. That's my hypothesis here, and we're going to try to turn that into something that we can see, something tangible. Okay. Hey, 99, welcome to the stream. Oh, 1 minute there'll be ads, so if I'm sorry, okay, I have to do it. It's done automatically by Twitch. I can't do anything about it. Follow 99 Hill Potions. He's a variety streamer. He plays a lot of indie games and plays Minecraft. We're all in the same server with Judicious's Build is Delight 4 beta. And he also does art as well. Pretty cool, chill streamer. That's my friend over there. Give him a follow if you haven't already, okay? I'm at the level war. Uh-oh. Attempt for Matt. Beat my... Yeah, war, it's really easy on war. I literally did it on the first try. Okay, 9 seconds. The ads are going to start. I'm sorry for that. They're going to last 3 minutes, so we don't have pre-rolls when people come in here. Just bear with me, and I thank you if you decide to stick around. Okay? Here. All right. Now, if you can still hear me, we're going to continue with the wire. All right. And here we go. So we're going to give it an illusion that the wire is inside of the belt. The belt is wrapped around the back of the wire, which actually turned out pretty well. It's turned out better than I thought it would. I'm going to take a drink of water. Oh. Got my hands on a recommended pet to help to sleep his pet, Matt can wake it up. The strats are all pre-update. Have you tried putting yourself to sleep with an Opal Opal necklace to get yourself max TP and start the fight with a, I don't know, a raging axe, I guess. I'm not really sure which axe weapon skill would be best to use in that situation, but usually the unlocked ones hit pretty well, right? So try that. And I actually have an Opal Opal necklace that you can use if and I can show you how to get one. It's actually really easy. You go to this little secluded spot in one of the jungles and you trade a jewel to it, and an NPC just gives it to you. That's how you get it. Yeah, okay. So we got our little, wow. That was easier than I thought. Very simple detail, and it looks like it's gonna work out. Oh, you did it? He just hits too hard? Oh wow. Yeah, he does hit kind of hard. I ain't gonna lie. He hits mad hard. As soon as he uses 1 hour, I'm dead. I can't survive. So wait. What are you doing? When you start the fight, what exactly are you doing? Are you trying to kill his pet with your pet and you fight Matt? Like, what are you trying to do? Maybe that's where the issue is. All right, so these little details on the side here, I think I can just sculpt those in. No, never kill his pet because he will resummon as an NM version. Yeah, that's why I'm asking. I know how I would do it, but I did that wrong the first attempt. Yeah, you should focus Matt. That's what I was going to suggest if you were trying to kill his pet first, I was going to suggest just focus Matt because usually that's the way to go. To take your pet and Matt and just jump him and just ignore his pet completely. How far down are you taking him? Uh, 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 I need oh yeah, clay strips. There we go. All right, so we're gonna make these little square shapes on the clip. We should be good. First few attempts was send the animal weakness of his pet and jump Matt, but he puts his pet on me and I die faster. Huh. I tried pet weakness versus pet. Pet weakness pet versus pet. Man versus man. That was my worst loss. Yeah, that's wow. I literally went in there on Sword and Shield War. Never played Sword and Shield War before and just killed him easily. He stood no chance, especially with my shield. And of course, you could take the easy way out and do one of the job quests for the unlockable jobs. Dancer is extremely easy. I did Dancer on the first try. I did there's Scholar. I don't know about if you want to do that. There's Puppet Master. You know all about Pup. Okay, it's the same thing as Beast. You got a pet. You tell the pet what to do, it does it, or you suggest the pet what the pet should do, and it does it anyway. You know you can do it on Pup, and then Blue Mage is super easy because you can just take trusts in there and just beat them down. I'm pretty sure you can take trusts in with can't you take trusts in with against Matt? Can't you do that? I'm pretty sure you can, can't you? Monk, I've never done Monk. As much as I like Monk, I've never actually did Monk's oh yeah, what the hell? Just do the trusts. Just do the trusts, man. What are you doing? You can't use trust? Oh, well, you can use trust against in the blue mage one. That's for sure. You can beat Raban completely down. But I didn't even do that. I did warrior. I did warrior first. I did warrior this time to 99 first, and then I did blue mage. And that was a cakewalk. Also, there's samurai. You already know what samurai. You go in there, you do your 1 hour, and then you just weapon skill him 3 times. He's dead. That's all it takes. Samurai, there's plenty of options. If you don't want to stick to one job or you just want to beat Matt down, I don't recommend doing Thief. I don't recommend doing Red Mage. Wait, I'll take that back. I don't know. I got conflicting reports about Red Mage, but I don't recommend doing Thief. That was my first one ever, and I never beat it um, because of the way the parties worked back then when people did still did parties. If you pull the entire time and you're going to be Thief Ninja, so you don't get hit, but your evasion skill takes is the one that takes a hit, and you need that for Matt. If your evasion's not capped, you're not gonna have a fun time. Even if you try the steal method, he's gonna beat you down before you can steal from him, and you only get one try anyway because I think it has a 5 minute recast. No, there isn't. You say that, but there isn't actually. There really isn't. Yeah, sure, you can equip the steel gear, and then yes, you can equip the steel gear, but that is completely RNG. I never stole from Matt, and I had all the steel gear at the time. I had the Steve gloves. Okay, I had the AF. I had the rabbit charms. I had everything. I went in there for days trying to steal from him and never got it. To the point where I was about to quit the game. I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. I'm just not. All right. I don't want to do this anymore. And I switched to Dancer and did it on the first try, and that was my introduction to Dancer. Not only did I didn't just switch to Dancer. I went unlocked Dancer, leveled it all the way up, had a great time soloing. Like I was in no danger whatsoever the entire time. Then took it in to do the job limit quest and did it on the first try. Actually, I did it on the second try because the first try my I tried to do it at 68 first. I remember because I wrote the guide. I wrote a testimonial on the site. It's still on the site to this day. On the Final Fantasy 11 encyclopedia, if you look through the testimonials for the Shattering Stars Dancer, my testimonial is there, uh, circa 2010. Okay, I did actually went back and read it. I did it first at 68, lost, leveled up two more times, did it. It was super easy. That's all it took was just those two extra levels, and I even wrote all my gear that I had. I had two bone knives plus one scorpion harness, rapper. No, I had the rappery harness. I think I don't know one of those. Anyway, you get the idea. Okay. Try it on a different job if you can't do it on Beast. I'm gonna add the bumps in, trying to get a square shape here and smooth it out. I don't actually know what this. I guess that just keeps together the nylon belt. I suppose it keeps the wire clipped in tight so it doesn't rattle. Maybe that's my best guess. I actually don't know. Um, you know what? Let's lower the strength to about half, so that way we can raise it a little bit and still get a form going here. Let's try that. Now let's try. Oops, caps lock. Let's try that. There's no shame in using another job. Yeah, that's what I did. I couldn't do it on Thief, and Thief was my main. Okay, but when I tried Dancer, I was like, man, Dancer is really good at soloing, and that was kind of like my push from parties to solo. That was like the beginning. Once I started picking jobs that are really good at soloing, that's the direction I started moving. And this was before Blue Mage. If I had known about how good Blue Mage was, and then I had an interest in playing Blue Mage. It's just when it first came out, it was just GameStop screwed me over, and I never got to play it until uh because it actually made me quit the game for a bit because of GameStop. When Treasures That Are Gone came out, they pre-ordered for me the PS2. Even though I said PC, they pre-ordered me a PS2 copy, and when I got there, the last guy walking out with the shelf copy was coming out the same store. If I had been minutes sooner, just minutes, maybe like 30 minutes just to be sure, just to be safe. He was coming out as I was going in. He was like, "Oh, sorry, the last." I was like, "Man, I didn't even ask for a pre-order refund." That's how pissed I was. I only paid $5. I didn't like pay it off fully, but it was on the ticket, PC. And then I quit the game for a while and started playing Anarchy. Um, but I went back about 2 years later, 3 years later, and continued leveling Thief, Monk, and Ninja. Those were like the jobs I was leveling up neck and neck. I stopped at 50. I was at 50 for years. I didn't, I swear, I did not get to level 75 for, it took me like 8 years to get to level 75 because I couldn't sit down and play the game at the time because of my work, my job, and so I only had time to farm. So I just leveled Thief and just kept farming for years and years. And I had so much money that whatever job I picked, I could gear it easily. But yeah, I was dancer. I was dancer for a long time. I was like, yeah, and I switched back to Thief occasionally. I did go back and max it out, but dancer was cool. And then when I was trying to help Typo with beat Raban for his limit break quest, like I was trying to give him ideas and whatnot, and maybe some gear here and there. The more research I did on Blue Mage, I was like, huh, this is interesting. He was telling me what he was doing, and I was trying to like figure out information for him so he could um get the job done on his job. And then I started thinking, and I'm like, man, you know what? Let me try this job. And when I did that, the rest is history. I never went back to dancer. I'm gonna go back to dancer again on this on my on this character. I'm gonna level dancer, not level, well yeah, level, but I'm sorry, gear dancer and catch him up to the current times. But yeah, I just that was my solo job from then on was blue mage. That's how I did it. And my goal was, me being mischievous. It was taken the wrong way, of course, but I was leveling blue mage in secret while he was fighting Raban back and forth with the testimonial. My plan was to, because he said there was a lot of things that he said that couldn't be done, and I was like, okay, I'll prove it. So I unlocked blue, I soloed blue all the way to about high 60, got every spell before then, before he was done beating Raban, but he actually caught me. He caught me at like level 68 or something. I was in judo running and he was running the other way. I was like, oh, he got me. I was almost there. I was almost there. I would have my plan was for him to beat Raban, and then when he comes out of beating Raban, I would be standing there as a blue mage with all the spells, all the gear. But that actually angered him a little bit. He was actually mad at me for doing that, and that didn't have the intended effect. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Typo. I'm still sorry to this day for doing that. I felt bad for doing that, but it was just meant to be a joke. Okay, I was just gonna tell him that, okay, while you were doing that, I level blue mage. I got all the spells. Now I can help you. Can help you learn the job more. Let's see. I'm sorry because I was a little bit on memory lane there. Let me catch up a bit. I'm just bad at Beast. Core Blue and Pup were all lull because they were released so weak. I always seen Corsairs and Blue Mages in parties, and I only partied with one Pup that entire time since they came out. That expansion released in 2006. I've only partied with one Puppet Master in XP parties ever. He was actually really good too. I didn't see the lull at all. I heard it because actually Pup was actually really strong. Nobody knew how learning blue magic worked, so only a few dedicated people, only the dedicated people were stuck with that job on that job. I went with a short bet. I had experience with monk, warrior, thief, so those were the jobs that I tended to stick to at the beginning when starting a new character, because there was a few times where I lost my account. I just lost the information. I don't know what happened to my 2006 account to this day. I just couldn't find it, so I had to buy another copy. But anyway, I digress. Um, Puppet Master was actually really strong. I've heard reports that Magic Mortar was doing like thousands of damage and they nerfed it. And then after they nerfed it, then Pup became law. Okay. But Magic Mortar was mad strong when Pup first came out. I didn't hear anything bad about Corsair. Corsair, of course, was a buff, a support job. So um, I'm not really too sure about Corsair, but Puppet Master was OP at first. Like it was like hitting harder than Ranger with Magic Mortar, and then they screwed it, and then people were like, oh, now the job's trash. And Blue Mage had its uses, just not really for in game. I think Sneak Attack Cannonball was probably its best niche thing for Sky. I did a lot of Sky and H&Ms. That was the thing that they excelled at. Sneak Attack Cannonball. That was their their hit. I lived a lonely life back then. People didn't like Corsair because it was a weaker bard at the time. Yeah, I don't really know from experience, but um I'll tell you why. I could probably guess why, because back then, right, people were moving away from from physical DDs. They were more geared towards magical in-game strategies, and Corsair was probably more useful to DDs for that actually hit things. The physical DDs, heavy DDs. People were just weren't using them, so I could see that Corsair being something that isn't too desirable. Bard can restore their MP with their songs. They get more songs. They get more than two. So it's more than two slots with their songs. I think the what was it? Three songs with the relic. So there was that. Plus there was yeah. I don't remember actually Corsair's buff. And I just started playing Corsair a few years ago, but I never actually got to buff magic people with Corsair. It was mostly just heavy DDs. Attack speed and attack. Never saw anyone with a Bard relic back then. I wish I did. Yeah, it was. I didn't get to do Dynamis personally, but yes, I did see people with those relics. I never played with them because they were these were like the people that people were like, oh, this guy, like, he's got a relic. Oh shoot, he must be cool. Those are that's the type of treatment those kinds of people got. They were viewed as like the heroes of the server, and those people usually have static parties, and they don't play with us lowly peons. I was just a farmer slash soloer, but I stayed in the best gear at my level. It was just I was always at a lower level. I stayed at 30 for years, and then eventually I bumped it up to 50 for a couple more years, and then right before Abyss, I say about a couple months before Abyssia came out, I finally got to level 75 before Abyssia came out. They never treated me like a hero. I had full relic and no one cared. No, I mean the relic weapon. Um, the relic weapon. Relic, unless you were a red mage, relic didn't really. I don't know. I can't think of anything more useful than that red mage hat or the thief gloves. You had those. You were going on the chopper to the big leagues. Okay, you were getting on the helicopter and you were going. They never cared. I've never even seen a puppet. Besides the one time, I've never even seen them running around. That's the funny part. People just didn't play that job. It's kind of like Ranger now, but people are starting to come back to Ranger a little bit. It's more like, I guess, I don't know. Outside of people helping people with Odyssey, people don't really pick Beastmaster like that either. You're kind of just picking the jobs that aren't really played as much anymore. They're very niche. I'll say that they're very niche. Black Mage is in the same boat. Some people are trying to like use Black Mage and strategies now, but it's mostly about Scholar. So I mean, I don't know. It's it's weird. I'm gonna play all the jobs. I'm gonna gear them all because I still to this day haven't played every single job. I tend to hover around the physical damage side, but I'm playing more support now. I have Bard, I have Corsair, my other character, and Bard. Tanks. Most tanking I've done was on Ninja and XP parties and Warrior, but I'm gonna plug that leak. You know, I'm gonna have knowledge of every single job at some point soon. I'm just slowly leveling and gearing my jobs one by one. Blue Mage is good. Really, I think the only thing that Blue Mage needs now is Odyssey gear and uh, Mythic. I might get an all mace again. I'm not really sure. I don't really actually need an all mace anymore. I don't know if I want to do that again, to be honest, but I might do it again just for completion's sake. If I have the room, I'll do it. Paladin and Red Mage don't really need an all mace, I think. Um, Red Mage uses Crocea, that's the red and blue sword, and Paladin has Burt Gang, Savage Blade, Nagling, and I think even Excalibur for both Red Mage and Paladin. They said in game has a need for Rune, Scholar, and White Mage. Yes, that is true. That is 100% true. But Paladin is still used. Rune Fencer is kind of fun. I mean, it's nice being able to tank and do damage. I sub rune on Blue Mage actually. I play Blue Mage defensively when I get a chance. Maybe not on my current character because I'm leveling all my mules. My true main right now is just Blue Mage Warrior, but I typically play Blue Mage Rune Fencer when I solo, so I can defend myself against magic better. I can cast Saline Coat, Cocoon, and then I can throw up a Valiance with the right runes on and just take single and double digits. It's almost like tanking, but I can still pump out the damage on Blue Mage. You know, with Mighty Guard and Erratic Flutter and just go to town with Savage Blade spam and Expansion, the Blue Mage Mythic. It's just my current Blue Mage does not have a Mythic yet. I got the points. I can go and start doing it at any time, but I'm gonna do that last. Getting the tokens takes a lot out of me, and I got another 1,000,000.2 tokens. Okay, and then on top of that, I have about 300,000 or 400,000 on my other character. I can actually get the key item that you need to buy the tokens and transfer it to my other character. Okay, you can actually transfer that item, so I might actually get more than 1.2 million tokens on that one character. And I'm thinking about Black Mage's Mythic, maybe Dancer, Ranger. That's three. I might not get Dancer, but definitely Black Mage and um, what I just say, Ranger, Mythic. I'm not sure what the third will be, but I should be able to make three more on top of that because I'm never going. I don't know, man. I feel like every time I do it, it takes more out of me. I might not ever go back into that Nizel tower again unless it's for a Neo Nizel because Neo Nizel Uncharted because of the items. How hard is Rune to play? Not very hard at all. Most people just sub blue. You sub blue, you cast a bunch of AoE spells because that generates a lot of hate. And then for a lot of those fights, you just turn around. You don't even fight really. All the damage is going to come from your people, but you don't really do a lot of DDing. You just hold hate, and I mean, from what I've seen, I played Rune a little bit, but I actually didn't really tank with Blue. Or sorry, not Blue, Rune. I played Rune a little bit, but actually didn't tank with them. So why turn around? So you don't generate more TP than needed. It's a lot of strats are optimized now, so um, you don't want to feed the mobs too much TP. So that's kind of like the reason. These are not segmented as much as I would like them to be, but I'm gonna try to do this again on the other side. You know what I should have done? I should have just turned on symmetry, and I would have been done right now. Dang it! Why did I do that? That's okay. That's pretty much from what I've seen Rune do. You know, I was thinking about getting another Lionheart for my next character. That is the only Aeonic that I'm interested in getting. I have every other Aeonic that I wanted. Those are the only weapons that I've gotten. I'm not getting another sequence because that's trash. That's the sword. But I have the knuckles for Pup. I have the samurai sword. I have the great axe. I have the bow. I have uh the gun, katana, dagger, flute. Those are really the only ones. I almost got the scythe, but then I was like, you know what? I'm not getting the scythe. That don't look good to me. I was gonna get the scythe though, but instead I'm gonna try to get the prime scythe. I'm gonna try to get the prime scythe and the instrument. I just haven't begun that grind yet. It's a very long grind. That's not gonna be fun at all, but I'm gonna try to do it. I'm gonna try to figure it out. Figure out a rhythm, a strategy of getting that. I don't have a static group, so I have to go in there solo. But apparently, Scholar and Blue Mage can do it. Two of the jobs can do it, and Ninja. Sortie do Sortie solo, and I'm gonna figure out how to do it properly to the point where we're killing some of the bosses and coming out of there with the goods. So we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna try to do it like this. Yeah, of course. That's more points. Why wouldn't yeah, I'll show you how to do it. It's a big. Just think of Outer Rakaznar. It's like that, but it's big and it's like a big maze, and you got to go in there. You got to do some objectives and kill some mobs, and you can get the points. You'll get your +2 Imperium, which is actually really good for pretty much every job, plus the earrings. I am looking forward to going in there and gearing up all my jobs to at least +2. But you'll get +3 before you ever see the chance of getting the stage 3 weapon. It's 4 or 5 stages, I think. This is what I should have done, just like this. And then I would have had that on both sides, but that's okay. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Galka's still pretty well geared to start up. Okay, cool. I'm probably gonna do it on blue, but I'm gonna wait until I got all my jobs leveled and geared, and then do it. Or I can start. Actually, I need Odyssey gear first. That's the issue. Just for the defense. I don't like that. There we go. Let me go ahead and take this to about there, and then we're gonna try to beef this up. But I like this side more than this side. We'll leave it though. We'll just leave it. I think this is fine. It's good enough. When I draw it, I'll copy this side instead of this side. As you can see, they're not the same anyway. This one's together, this one's apart, so it doesn't, maybe I can just smooth these out and leave this. I'm in e-learning hell. Oh man. I know uh all too well e-learning hell. Added a bug reporting section to the Discord. Don't abuse it. Okay. Um, I have nothing new to the report. I didn't play very much for very long yesterday. I was on all the mods a little bit, and I did a little bit of sorting and then logged off. It was I didn't really feel like playing it anyway, and there was it was a lot of crashes. So I wasn't experiencing lag. It was just crashing for me. So I was like, okay, I'll just do this another time. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create these 3 holes here, and then we should be done with the front. Holy guacamole. That was actually not bad. We got this. We got our straps here. We got our belt. Looks better than our last LBE. I'll tell you that right now. 1. We'll put the holes right here. 2, and then the texture, this texture here, we can add that later on when we're actually doing textures. My thief is ready to start Farming JP. I got a few upgrades on the Ambu dagger and a high tier dagger. Yeah, I got the I actually got a turret not too long ago. I need to get my bard to SU2 so I can get the Musai set and finish that off, and then it's on to Corsair. Corsair is going to be expensive, but it's very fun to play. It's a very fun job to play. And I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna need Corsair anyway to do mythics because of the movement speed. The Bolter's roll is very, very useful for assaults like Lebros supplies, I believe, and building. I think it's called building bridges, where it's just straight running. You just gotta run. You gotta run your butt off. You gotta go. You just gotta go and get and turn on the lamps. And then another one too, with there's like the Hawks running around. There's another lamp turn on thing, but you're in the fire area, the volcano. You have to run around. Having that movement speed, very nice. And or Calcum survey too. Okay. I'm gonna try to do some. Hopefully, we'll be okay on the server. I'm gonna try to do some progress on Minecraft, but if not, I got other stuff to do. I can do my story. I'm gonna do that anyway, but I mean, I got all the mods. I got all kinds of stuff, so I'm not really too concerned. All right. For some reason, that didn't kick in, did it? Which is good because even though I have symmetry on, it's not doing the circles on the other side, which is fine by me. There. And now we'll take inflate and we'll just trace around that circle. Try to give it a little rivet. Tomorrow I'm gonna start streaming early so I can do Rescue Rangers 2 in Minecraft enough to have a break before Red Guy, Blue Guy. Oh yeah. Yeah, I got an early day tomorrow. I thought about doing that as well, just moving my franchise streams, but I'm gonna do it on Friday instead of Thursday, schedule permitting. Let's see here. Now we're gonna go here because I want to keep that. I want to keep that up. I was talking earlier about playing some retro games. I was saying that Solar Jetman was my Zelda back in the day, and I kind of wanted to play it yesterday, but I didn't play it. Um, I kind of felt like playing some old retro games. Well, Shadow Hearts is technically retro, but I'm talking about like Nintendo Entertainment System. All right, so we just got to do this bag next. I think the front's good, to be honest. Let's put everything back on. That's lacking clothes. I still don't know how Twitch will feel about that, so we're just gonna avoid doing it for now until we get a straight answer here. All right, there we go. It's not bad. That's definitely a better job than the last sculpt that we did. We gotta add those we gotta add loops like these on both of the straps, but right now we're just focused on the belt. I'm gonna do the back. We are almost out of time though. I'm not gonna be able to fully start this. I would like to keep going, but I can't, unfortunately. Normally I would stop at 12 noon or somewhere around there, either right before or right after, but maybe an hour before, hour after I say. But I can't really do that. Maybe until the summer. Maybe during the summer we can get our longer art streams back in, but right now we're just gonna have to deal with this for right now. Unless there's a slight change in the schedule, I'll on that day I'll keep going, but today is not that day. So what I'm gonna do is I already saved it. I'm going to try to mask out the flap for this backpack here, and then that should carry us towards the end there. Uh, want to, yeah, I do want a mask. Say Wednesday? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so this will be the last art stream for the week. We will do more art streams next week, of course. Let me take a quick look at the date here. Next week I should have a day where I can keep going through to 12. But we'll see. That might not even be on an art day. It actually might be on a day that I don't normally stream on the morning. So it might not even matter, but I don't know. If it's on Friday, maybe a game. Maybe a game. Let's mask out the flap here. Like so. We're going to avoid the straps like we did before. I only need this part done like so. How about this? How about them apples, huh? All right. It kind of looks like a, I don't know what it looks like. I was gonna say Pokeball, but it doesn't look like a Pokeball. Anyway, okay, we're gonna take this and we're gonna super increase our grab tool. Grab tool's radius. We're gonna pump that all the way up because we're gonna grab the entire bag, pull that out, and then yank it down. We gotta pull that down. Maybe not like that, but like this. Okay, hold on. Let me wait a minute. Where's my There's a guy named Juno right now named Ace. I wish I had that name, but I don't. So I gotta stick with a Cesriel, which is already made. I What I did was I switched that name from my Galka to my Hume because when I do play that game on stream, I want to keep that name. So yeah. I switched that name to my new character. So my Galka is no longer called a Cesriel. My Galka, I'm just gonna say Ace for sure. My Galka is no longer Ace. My Galka, I'm planning on returning to my original name that I had in 2004. It is open once again. Somebody stole it. It's actually somebody had it before I even started playing the game, but it's my name, and I'm gonna return it. I'm gonna return him back to that name, and Ace will be the Hume from now on. I took the Hume with the cornrows. I was gonna do bald, but I didn't. I just because I don't really like the head tattoos like that. But we're doing that's what I've chosen to do. So I'll be Ace again, just on a different race, and we're gonna take him all the way up, all the way. He's going all the way from Mule to Maine. That's gonna be the series. It's gonna be the series. And then, if I have extra characters, I'll just keep doing it, depending on how quickly it takes for me to do that and how much I want to stream Final Fantasy 11, I'll just keep doing it. I'm gonna give it a little pizzazz here. I'm trying to make a little fold right there. This is big enough and fabricy enough to have folds in it. So we're gonna add some folds there, and then we'll put the two straps there. I'll probably do that off stream, but you got the gist of it because the next 2 days my goal is to do um, as much retopology, try to get through the retopology as quickly as possible without messing it up for the clothing. So that way we can start doing UV and unwrapping on stream for the first time. It's a very simple process. I have to commit it to notes, so that's another to-do list for me. Um, I have a lot of stuff that I need to do, man. For art, the Minecraft project, I'm trying not to fall behind on that, but it's usually I do fall behind on Minecraft a little bit because most of my free time is spent on my art, but we'll try to find some kind of balance, okay? I have a lot of art projects that I need to finish besides this. It's just this is just the bulk of my time here. But this is what we got. This is what we did today. It's looking pretty good so far. Alt M. Now I just got to put the same kind of straps here, so maybe some folds. How did he get that name? I don't know. I don't know. I'm guessing that there was a lot of people back in the day that before Final Fantasy 11 came out in the States, they were importing the Japanese version over and playing on that. And they had a whole year with the Japanese to themselves. So um, I'm starting to get a list of people. There was a pretty sizable list of people that did that on Ragnarok. And they still play on those accounts to this day. So yeah. All right. So I have to go now. All right. Thank you all for stopping by and chilling in my stream. I appreciate you. I appreciate you watching the VODs. I appreciate those who come across these videos on YouTube. It's not very many because I know it's an archive channel for the time being. I do have some videos that I want to release, actual videos on YouTube, but that's going to take some time. But anyway, yes, next week will be art on Monday, and from here on out, we're going to do game streams. We're doing our Red Guy versus Blue Guy tomorrow night, and expect a game stream on Friday and probably Saturday, and if I feel like it, maybe Sunday as well. I'm thinking I'm not going to use Twitch's scheduling thing because it's not flexible enough for what I do. I know I've been a little bit fluid with the days that I stream, but I'm going to actually just draw a graphic on the bottom of a page and hammer out a schedule sometime this week. Okay, so expect that. Thank you all, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Okay.